Cashiers of Reddit, what products make you silently judge the persons who buy them? Had a teenage girl come in with several members of her family. They all came up to the counter practically in tears and bought a pregnancy test. She then went into our bathroom to take the test, which I thought was odd. Seems like the kind of thing you're doing in the sanctity of your own home. Then the girl comes out, bawling, and then her family starts bawling, and they're making a huge scene in the middle of my store. It was super duper awkward. Ex-cashier of 5 years here. After a while you don't notice and it all becomes the same, because you're so familiar with the items your store carries. Only time I have made an extreme judgment based on items purchased was when a man came in and purchased peanut butter, dog treats, condoms, lube and rope. Not even joking. One of our customers buys anywhere from 25 to 32 bottles of laxatives a week. Every week, and not the oral kind either. I didn't judge, but it's a great story. I saw a guy in the condom aisle looking absolutely baffled. I'm a pharmacist and went to help with an inward sigh. Some people have no idea how to use them. He said, I have no idea what I'm looking at. There are so many. I've been fixed for almost 20 years. But my boy's going to college, and I don't want him bringing STDs or any babies home with him. He got really excited when I told him about Sperm Addict and bought 5 to 6 dozen count boxes. That's a good dad. Bracelets that harness the healing energy of magnets. Freshman year of high school, I was a cashier at a local grocery store. There was an upscale organic cupcake boutique in town that sold their cupcakes for about $4 each. It was ridiculous, but people still bought them. Anyway, the owner would come in every other week and buy about 20 boxes of Betty Crocker cupcake mix and frosting. She must have had like a 2000% rate of return on those things. Edit, the cupcake boutique has since gone out of business, and the lady was a beachy soccer mom in her mid-30s, so I doubt she was the confession on here, but it's interesting to know how common this apparently is. Every week, this woman bought a shopping cart full of toilet paper. It wasn't my business to ask why, but was curious, how could anyone or any family use so much of it? One day, she said that she was glad it finally went on sale, because she donated most of it each week to the 2 homeless shelters in town. I thought that was so great. I cashiered at Home Depot. Had a dude in his mid-20s pull up to my register with 1. Rope 2. Duct tape 3. Cleaning gloves 4. Tarp 5. Bleach 6. Febreze 7. Cookies 8. Bucket 9. Sponges. I rung him up. I didn't even notice what he'd purchased until he came back in. He just said, dude, I could be planning a murder and you didn't even care. What the frick? I just lost $20. Then he went to return everything except the cookies. True story. Edit, FFS. Yes, Home Depot sells cookies. Feel like right next to all the chips and sodas. Fear those $0. 98 grandma cookies that come in packs of 2. Them beaches is straight fear. This isn't exactly the same thing, but I used to work at AutoZone. One day a customer came in and asked if there were any deals on our strongest antifreeze. I asked him if he meant the lowest temperature rating, and he said no, the one with the most ethylene glycol. I was really confused and asked him what he needed it for, and he told me it was because his neighbor's kids just got kittens and they were trespassing on his property. I excused myself and went back to my boss / the store manager and told him, and he told me I had to make the sale. I had to sell him 4 gallons of antifreeze to kill some defenseless kittens and absolutely crush his neighbor's kids. I try to never say I hate anybody, and I never wish harm on anybody, but yeah. A Vietnamese lady came in a day after Valentine's Day to buy candy. She bought hundreds of bags. I made a joke about how the dentist bill must be insane, and she told me how she sends the candy to orphan homes in Vietnam because they don't have candy there apparently. Don't judge a book by its cover, guys. Edit, a few words. Edit 2. Stop saying it's BS. The story is true, whether the lady lied or not. However, I don't know, but I'd like to believe that she is just a good person. I worked as a cashier at Kmart once, and it was like my 3rd week there, and then this couple came into my line. They were buying lube, tissues and condoms. As awkward as it was, I had to ring them up. Then out of the complete blue the guy asks me, hey, you should ask me what I'm going to do with those. My supervisor turns and looks me dead in the eyes as a literal ball of sweat drips from my brow. I'm awestruck. I continue to ring them out in silence, then I say I'd rather not. They both laugh at me and I just continue to ring them out. Heavy judgment because the chick was really hot. Picture it. October 31st, 1974. My mom sends 11-year-old me to the store for a bag of apples. And my dad needs Gillette razor blades. The cashier looks at me like I just stuck a dump on her conveyor belt. The only people I silently judge are the ones trying to make up a reason for me to not silently judge them. So what if you eat that whole cake by yourself? Live a little. A cashier once talked shit to my grandma when she bought pig's feet. I think they are gross too. But I don't want you talking shit to my grandma about how gross they are. Mind your business. Not a cashier either, but when my friend would buy Depends, you could tell the cashier and everyone in line would judge him hard. He was a 23-year-old college kid who still peed the bed when he drank. He tried his best, mannered it. No, he didn't wear them to parties. He tried to remember to put them on when he drunkenly got home. This led to him putting them on backwards multiple times. This effectively kept his piss out of his diaper and in his bed. Once he forgot to put them on and brought a girl home. Let's just say he convinced her that he drunkenly showered in the middle of the night. Her ride home must have been mortified. Has not my friend anymore. I'm a clerk at a convenience store. Not something I judge harshly for, just something I've noticed and I think is funny. Teenagers buying condoms. Most adults buying condoms just come in, grab the condoms, pay for them, and leave. Most people are having sex, and adults realize that no one cares. Teenagers buying condoms are super awkward about it though. Typical scenario, a couple comes in, they look like they're about 15 or 16. The girl hangs out by the front door, looking around awkwardly or just staring at her phone. The boy will walk up and down the candy aisle, candy on one side, health and beauty stuff on the opposite side, pretending to look at candy, but keep looking at the condoms, to try to see what the selection is without looking like he's looking at condoms. Bonus awkwardness if he texts his girlfriend to ask her opinion, while she's standing right in front of me waiting. He'll then grab the absolute cheapest piece of candy he can find, and a box of Trojan fire and ice every time. The way the kid wants it to look is I dragged my girlfriend down because I absolutely needed a single lemon head right this second, but I suppose I'll grab condoms while I'm here. Then after one of them pays, they'll quickly walk away with their heads huddled together acting like they just got away with something. I always want to tell them that they don't have to treat it like something shady or dirty and that no one gives a shoot, but I'm happy they're using protection, and I worry that even mentioning it would embarrass them enough to risk not coming in next time. Every time this question comes up, I wonder, what makes you think I think anything about you? I think about my feet hurting, my back aching, and how long until my shift ends. You? Not so much. TLDR, while being a cashier I questioned why someone would subject themselves to itchy fabrics. As a teenager I was judged for buying condoms that were for a reason other than sex. The only time I can remember having a thought about a customer was when they bought our camouflage print lingerie with pink edging. I honestly could care less if they wanted to buy it, even though I thought it was hideous, but while folding it, I couldn't get over how itchy the fabric was. I was curious about why someone would subject themselves to that. My shopping habits were judged by a cashier when I was 14. My music teacher sent me to the store for unlubricated condoms. They are a way of keeping actors' sweat from damaging body microphones. It was a small town and the cashier knew me. She was horrified about what I was buying, and before I could explain she insisted on calling my mother to let her know I was having sex. I then got to explain in a very loud voice I was a virgin and they were for microphones. Even if I had been buying them for sex, I would think the smarter move on her part would be to sell them to me. If teenagers have decided to have sex, then they are going to do it regardless of how adults feel. Public shaming and denying them protection is not going to stop sex, but can lead to other consequences. Edited to add additional information. Both the teacher involved and myself are females. I used to work at a local pharmacy and a regular customer came in. The only items he purchased were a wrist brace and a tube of Kai jelly. He must have noticed me looking at the items, and he said, "I swear these are unrelated. Whatever helps you sleep at night, dude." When parents get angry at their kids for wanting a 50p pack of stickers, or some cheap child's magazine saying we don't have enough money for that, whilst paying for cigarettes and lottery tickets. I used to work at a save-a-lot as a cashier. Our client base tended to be a little lower on the economic ladder. At the first of the month, when the benefits get loaded to their cards, I always hated to see people push a cart up full of soda, chips, etc. These people also usually tended to be in poor health. I didn't really judge them, I more felt pity for them. I also didn't like seeing people who would come in with the PIN number for their card on a piece of paper. It was a small town. I know that wasn't your card. I didn't hold it against the people who had the misappropriated card, but more against the people who sold their $300 worth of food stamps for $150 so they could buy alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, etc. The sad part was, a lot of the people selling had kids.